It's been a number of months since we last spoke, and there's reasons for that. I actually reviewed my last vlog to see where I was and what can I express of the changes since then. So let's start since December 21st, when my last video posted. Sure, I took that break. Sure, I had distance from my gaming friends. Well, since then, I did reconnect with my gaming buddies, and I've just had to manage my time a bit more so that I don't lose my sanity. Since December, my work at Caesars became toxic really fast, and let me explain what I mean by toxic. I noticed that I was increasingly being marginalized. I was being for a time I was trusted with the leadership, the research, the scope, the design work. I was their ace as a designer. Something happened where the requirements wasn't effectively translated to me. And a lot of the work that I did, even with some of the questions I had, even with some of the solution I tried to do, it all started falling apart. And in the end, I was kind of thrown under the bus because there was expectations that weren't met. And ultimately, because of our management structure ultimately scaling, which means that there's more people above me, instead of me being a part of the voice that helps the product managers figure out this next approach or strategy, now I was underneath more people. And I quickly realized this was going to be an issue because I do best when I'm able to communicate and learn from all the stakeholders in a project so that I know who to talk to, what their vision is. And so the friction of me doing something and me getting it verified, validated, and produced was very small. But here, as this structure became greater and there's just a greater stack, there was so much red tape. There was less communication, and in turn, especially being remote, any mistake that you do feels like a greater hammer being smashed onto you, which never happened in the 2 years prior working at Caesars or William Hill, whichever. It was surprising to my entire user experience design team, and they felt for me. A number of them didn't understand how it fell this far, and I just did not feel good for a number of weeks. And because I'm very aware of how things can go sideways when you just kind of tolerate it, because people underestimate how much baggage gets stacked on. Even if someone says that they forgive you and they're moving on, there's still a huge chunk of those people who have just kind of let water under the bridge. They retain a lot of those convictions, those thoughts of you if you ever make a mistake. And that sentiment, that toxicity, that negativity, that criticality was always something that came up, that always felt like it was being swung around. And I don't feel like it even got better after, things were said and done and moving on. It just got weird, really strange. And I got incredibly uncomfortable. I had a meltdown here or there. Ultimately, I decided to leave. After Caesars, I found a new place to work. I now work at Optum. I was very surprised at how fast the job market was moving. So I got a job within a few weeks after a dozen or so interviews. Usually it takes 3 to 4 months. At the same time, I was also, I decided to apply to do a course for sustainable infrastructure systems at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, aka MIT. And the reason why I chose MIT is, one, the brand name is great. Two, I attribute a lot of gratitude to MIT for formulating the modern day version of systems thinking, which many of you know I apply in my personal life as much as advocate for on a professional level. And it's funny, just as a side note, I had lunch with one of my great friends, Mark Baker, who was a part of the same user experience design cohort that I was a part of. He applies systems thinking to his own life as well. So we're in a very parallel path in terms of applying systems thinking across our lives. And when I say systems thinking, it's not that dry, you don't have to be a robot to apply it. Systems thinking ultimately dips into, or at least immerses itself with the acknowledgement that all things are affected by entropy and that all things have a flow. And that at the end of the day, you end up appreciating your life, your relationships, your moments more because you know that not everything lasts forever. And that's something, that a number of you know that I exercise. So that aside, one of the great things about my going through MIT is not so much the quality of the curriculum, because quality of the curriculum, it's MIT. It's like recent material, up to date. It's not antiquated. It's not old, not outdated. So all of it's relevant. All of it's new. All of it's really like you get an idea of where the world is at. The problem that I had with the course that I was very vocal about in my feedback to them. Yes, I am very vocal. I had some concerns about MIT after the course, is that it suffers the same challenges as the rest of academia, in effect that it doesn't evolve the way society evolves. It's still a little bit slow. No, it's still largely slow. And the challenge it has is that it doesn't transform some of its most potent ideas, concepts, curriculum into a manner that is both digestible and memorable for all the people who learn the material. For example, a number of the modules that existed in the certification that I took still had a lot of text walls, still had a lot of really dry diagrams and formula. An idea to transform diagrams that are very dry and information blocks that are just really large text blocks is to not just add images, which they've done in the course, but to also do things like infographics, and maybe even more videos, anything to build not just context, but something to anchor people's memories. Like even if you have to introduce something as, potentially vulgar as doing a meme, being able to communicate on the level of where everyone else is moving, because it's not that you're trying to degrade the integrity of the material, you're trying to make sure that people understand the material so that they can apply it to their lives, so that we can constantly grow and create solutions as more mundane, like irrelevant material and entertaining materials competing with it. We don't want to create a society that's just full of entertainment. We want to really push a society that can also have fun while creating solutions, while also applying solutions, while also having an understanding with others. And I'm not seeing a good chunk of academia do that. And that's one of the inspirations as to why I'm about to talk about this next topic, which is I recently got into helping another startup due to an invitation from a friend, and I was intrigued with the idea, and I decided to pursue it and contribute as much as I can. But the issue with it is that as I was building things, as I was doing the prototype, as I had completed my MIT stuff, I started to realize after a hike, I really did not feel comfortable working on other people's visions, because I know that I'm good for it. I know I'm good with bringing people's ideas to life and helping them manage reactions and material in order for them to survive things like legal pressures and such. But the challenge became, am I really doing things, like am I happy doing other people's stuff when I know that I have a lot of discerning priorities that need to be done that I know people find insightful, but no one else cares to really push on. So it really reminded me that I have to take a leadership position again, that I really need to trust myself, that now that I have a bit more room to breathe, I need to really pursue my own ideas. Because anytime that I work with a startup, I know that for one, you have to wear multiple hats. 2, you have to work a lot of extra hours just to make it work. 3, you have to rely on others to help make it work as a team. And there's just so many factors there, and that's why so many startups fail. I'm not saying this startup is going to fail, but I think I need to really focus on my own endeavors, because I think I'm the only one that can really do it. I have the vision for it. I'm reminded of one of my last projects back at General Assembly, where I took the lead on doing a League of Legends, like mobile, fantasy league competitive app idea. And I just really felt like this needed to happen. I pushed it forward and people rallied around me. I need to get back into that energy. I have the ideas, I just need to be confident about it. And this kind of ties into the MIT thing. The fact that I can critique academia shows that I have the amount of care required to really push something forward. And it may not all work, but I know it's meaningful. So it doesn't have to be an app, it could be a book, it could be like a number of YouTube videos back on holistic recognition, or it could be more vlogs. Whatever the case is, I need to push my passions forward, and even if it needs be that I bring other people around me. And that's basically saying that I need to do this, but I need help. And I need to figure out who should be helping me. Because at this point, I don't think I should be helping other people's ideas or visions. And it's not because I can't do it. I mean, I'll always be able to consult with them, but to do the heavy lifting, I can't do that anymore. And I won't do that anymore. I mean, I shouldn't do that anymore. Because every hour, minute that I take away from my own endeavors, my own peace, my own relaxation, my own just ability to harness an inspiration and work on it, if I take time away from that, the less time it has to tap into a moment in time in the market to make a difference. And those moments that pass, those opportunities that pass, that such a thing doesn't exist, means that there are going to be people within the algorithm that don't see it, that don't get to experience it, that don't get to hear me out in a manner that may be relevant to them at that time. Because change happens in a very specific manner. Hope happens in a very specific manner. Hope, truth, change is not self-evident all the time. It has to find the opportunity to exist, to grow. And I need to really have that confidence to accept that, to continuously push that forward. So even if I have these moments of weakness where I'm not constantly pushing on these ideas, I at least need to recognize how I can get back on the path, which is what this video is. And yeah, I needed to say all that. So hope everyone's doing well. There's still some more changes happening, but I will report on that in the next month or two or whenever I'm going to vlog next. But I hope everyone's well, and thank you for hearing me out if you're seeing this, and I will catch you all later. I'm very grateful that you've come this far in the video, and if there's one last thing I'd like to ask of you is to hit that like button, and if you'd like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.